Hi everyone, Miss Tui here. In today's lesson, you are going to complete a story about your Ozobot taking a trip with prepositional phrases. Then you will use color codes and drawings to complete an illustration of the story to illustrate your prepositional phrases. In today's lesson, you will need an Ozobot fully charged and calibrated, your color code markers, a pencil, and your Ozobot's trip with prepositions activity sheets. Make sure you have both pages. In today's lesson, you will choose nouns and prepositions to complete your prepositional phrases and make your own story. Then you will use your prepositional phrases to add drawings and color codes on a map for your Ozobot to follow. Finally, you'll program your Ozobot to demonstrate the prepositional phrases in your story. Prepositions are parts of speech that connect a noun or pronoun to another word in a sentence to show relationship between them. A preposition tells the location or relation to a person, place, or object, and often answers the questions where, when, or how. Some examples of prepositions are on, under, from, around, behind, off, and against. Prepositional phrases are groups of words that tell about the location relative to a person, place, or an object. Let's look at an example sentence that says, I sat on the couch. The preposition in the sentence is on because it gives information about the location, and the prepositional phrase is on the couch because it tells the location to a noun. If the couch wasn't included in the sentence, you wouldn't know my exact location or what I sat on. Let's look at another example. This sentence says, the dog is beside the table. The preposition in the sentence is beside because it tells the location, and the prepositional phrase is beside the table because it tells the location to a noun. Today, you are going to get creative as you complete a story using prepositional phrases to send Ozobot on an adventure. Your Ozobot is going to be the main character in your story, and the prepositional phrases will give details about its journey. Let's look at the Ozobot's trip with prepositions activity sheet. You will begin the story by completing the title with a destination. You can choose anywhere you'd like. Then fill in the very first sentence with details about your trip. This can include what Ozobot will be doing, who it will be going with, and more. I decided to title my story, Ozobot's Trip to the Beach. After I decided where my bot was going, I used details about the beach to complete the second section of my story. It is going to the beach with family so it can swim and build a sandcastle. Where will your Ozobot go, and what will it do once it gets there? Can you write using your own ideas to complete the title and the second sentence in your story? After your story has a title and your sentence is complete, you're ready to write a preposition in each box using the word bank. The preposition word bank has 8 different prepositions to choose from, but you will only use 7. I chose the prepositions along, beside, around, between, over, under, and toward. I wrote a different preposition in each box to make my story more exciting. What prepositions will you use in your story? Can you choose 7 different prepositions and write one in each of the boxes in your story? Now that you've chosen and written your prepositions, you can complete the prepositional phrases in your story to tell the location of your bot to a place or an object. To complete the prepositional phrases, you will need to write a noun on the lines using the word bank. The noun word bank has 8 different nouns to choose from, but you will only use 7 since you will make up the last sentence on your own. I use my prepositions as clue words to make logical sentence like under a sign. You can choose to read each sentence to think about a noun that makes sense with the preposition, or you can put in a random noun to make a silly sentence. I also wrote a different noun on each line to make my story more interesting. What nouns will you use in your story? Can you choose 7 different nouns and write one on each line after each preposition in your story? Once you've completed all of the blanks, read your story over. Once you've read your story, you're ready to illustrate. Get out your Ozobot's Trip with Prepositions map so that you can add pictures to show how Ozobot travels using the location of each object in your story. You will want to begin after start on the map and draw your objects in order to match the sequence of your story. Be sure not to draw into the light gray area so that your drawings don't interfere with the Ozobot's path. In my story, first, Ozobot zooms by a row of trees. So on my map, I have a row of trees next to the pathway after start. Next, Ozobot spins around as it travels by a railroad track. The next picture I drew following the path was a railroad track. You can see all 6 nouns or objects in my story and the bot's final destination. My pictures demonstrate the prepositional phrases like between 2 fields of flowers or under a welcome sign. When you draw your pictures, remember to spread them out using the entire map and to draw outside of the pathway that Ozobot will follow. Can you draw all 6 nouns or objects in your story and your bot's final destination around the outside of the pathway? Once you have added illustrations on your map to show the prepositions from your story, it is time to code. You will draw in color codes to complete the pathway. You may want to use the color code chart to help you. I use details in my story like excited, zooms, spins, and slows to help me decide which color codes I wanted to use. For example, zoom told me my bot was moving quickly, so I used the fast color code. What color codes are you going to use? Can you choose and color a different color code in each sequence of empty boxes to support the details in your story? It's now time to get your Ozobot to see your story in action. Let's watch how my Ozobot moves to demonstrate the prepositional phrases in my story. My bot moves along the trees, beside the railroad track, around the park, between the flowers, over the stream, under the sign, and towards the beach. You will place your Ozobot on start and watch it follow the lines and color codes to demonstrate the prepositional phrases in your story. For an extra challenge, read your story aloud as the bot shows it in action. Can you use your Ozobot to show the prepositional phrases in your story? Before submitting your work, don't forget to check your completed activity sheet for a title, a preposition in each box, a noun written after each preposition, Check your completed map for a picture of each prepositional phrase, a picture of the place your bot is traveling to, and 7 different color codes. Check that you can show how the Ozobot follows lines and color codes to demonstrate the prepositional phrases in your story. If you're looking for more to do, create your very own story. Then complete a second map to sequence the story and to show the prepositional phrases you used. Come back again soon for your next lesson.